Hey guys, throughout these moments over the last week, I have been really aware of the concept of choice. And so that's the topic we're unpacking today. And while sure, we won't hit the whole idea of choice holistically, I'll share with you exactly where my brain has been over the last week. And I have a feeling that if you have ever known the love of a pet, or if you've ever attended a funeral, or if you've ever done something new, that you'll be able to relate. It's been a week, guys. And as I reflect back over the emergency surgery my dog had on Saturday to the funeral I attended on Monday, and now to be on here Thursday, preparing to present my coaching on an entirely new platform for me, like I gotta say, I'm ready for the weekend. Okay, so the first doozy of a curveball that came barreling my way this weekend. Let's just start by saying that Shane, my husband, was out of town at a men's retreat with the church from Friday night until Sunday afternoon. And there's a running joke in our household for a reason that, of course, things like sliced opened eyebrows or things breaking, or we'll just say unusual events, always happen when the hubby is away from the homestead. Of course, this event with the dog would go down this weekend while he was away. So, to set the scene, like I'll share that at this time, we only have one pet. So, he is a big, old, giant breed dog. He's a Newfoundland. And when I say that this boy is big, I mean he's big. Okay. He's only 8 months and already 115 pounds. And he can literally rest his snout on my countertops if I'd let him. His name is Guinness. And as an 8 month old giant breed puppy, I will tell you right now, he is flat out in his teenage dirtbag phase where he knows the commands, but he is now deciding if he really wants to actually listen to them. And he's realizing just how like handsome he is. So he walks around with a little swagger, but he still has really no idea of his massiveness. So he's just a total pain in the booty right now. I love him. I'm grateful for him. It's just teenage dirtbag stage is in full effect. Well, 3:45 a.m. on Saturday morning, I wake up and I hear him hacking up something. So I jump out of the bed, I get him onto the bathroom tile so he can do his thing, and at least it'll be easier for me to clean up if he does get sick. Well, right then and there, he throws up two of my toddler's socks. Okay, great. Way to go, buddy. I'm glad you got him up. I let him outside, he gets some water, and then I crawl back into bed. Less than an hour later, I hear the same hacking. I do the same jump out of bed, get him onto the tile, and I mean, all of the water he had drank comes splashing all over, covering the entire surface of the bathroom floor. There was so much water at this point, but I'm just thinking maybe, hey, the dog needs to go outside, maybe needs to eat some grass, take a chill pill on the water, and just like relax. Long story short, he proceeds to be unable to keep anything down for the next 12 hours and now has stopped taking food. I tossed my kids with our amazing neighbors at this point. They were just a total godsend. I'm so lucky to have that kind of help and support. And Guinness and I head towards the emergency vet. Well, sure enough, teenage dirtbag has a blockage and needs to go in for immediate surgery so that basically his intestines don't blow up from the inside out. And here's where the part about choice comes in. As the doctor is going over the x-rays, and you can tell now that it's a couple days, like, sure, I'm being much more sarcastic with it. But if if I take us back to that moment, Saturday, I'm sitting in the back room going over these x-rays with the doctor, and they're telling me that I'm basically looking at an $8,500 surgery, and we're discussing viable options because he's basically running out of time. Like, in that moment, I could feel all of the waves of emotions and thoughts run through my head. Like everything from, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, how much did you just say that was going to cost? I'm not prepared to just toss $8,500 out. For God's sakes, my husband is already like working two jobs to support us during this transition. And let's be real here, the dog ain't even worth that much. Like, gosh, like if this was literally any other time except during this season for us, like this would be such an easier choice. Oh man, is this really how I lose a dog I've only had for 7 months? What if we can't do this? I just want to do the right thing for this animal. There's got to be a different option. Okay. Wow, crap, this is really happening. Okay, God's got me. Okay, he's my boy. I made the choice to have him. I made the choice to expand our family by those four legs. And what a beautiful role he's already played in our family. Okay, I made the choice to train, or maybe lack thereof, this dog and my family about leaving socks and shoes all around the house. Okay, lesson learned. And then I also chose to leave a stable 9 to 5 job and to be in this uncomfortable financial situation. And I chose in that moment. I felt this rush over me, and I knew the thought radiating was that I chose in this moment that I will never, ever, ever put myself and my family in a position where one of my family members can't get the care they need because of money concerns. Like, this is my dog. This is just one of God's gifts to us, like to have the love of an animal, and then we get to have that responsibility to that animal in love. And in that moment, then I chose with full strength and clarity to proceed forward with the surgery, because in those moments, like the confidence started to wash over me that this moment too was chosen for me. So in that back room, face between my hands, like I started to think so clearly about it all. You know how every moment with this dog, since the day I saw that little puppy picture, every moment had been intentionally crafted with love and with purpose, just like every other divinely orchestrated moment of my life. The financial guy came in. I swiped my credit card, and as that little cha-ching bell went off the card, I loudly exclaimed, I was like, airline miles, whoop, whoop. And I think that that was the most fun that that finance guy had had all year by his reaction. So Guinness, the dog, he went through surgery. And then when the surgeon called, he shared that the dog basically had eaten 2 additional socks. One had gotten caught in the stomach, one had gotten caught in the intestine, and they were connected by some cotton matter. So basically, as he was trying to get sick with one, it was trying to pull the other. As he was trying to go out the other end with one, it was trying to pull the other. So just this ultimate game of tug of war. And I'm sure I have shared way too much on this podcast already, but that's when the blockage occurred. So surgery really was the only option. And two, it always feels good when the surgeon does like remind you and tell you, hey, you guys made the right call. There was no way he was going to pass that. So thanks, buddy. And now, I don't know, maybe happy ending to the story. My troublemaker is now back at home and will be rocking his well-deserved cone of shame for at least the next 2 weeks. And now I'm just trying to save every door, coffee table, chair, all of it from his continued unawareness of his size, plus the satellite dish that he's now strutting around. So that was the dog saga. And then the funeral I attended on Monday, right? Totally different vibe. Um, I have never met a single person that has shared like that they like going to funerals. I don't think that any of us do. In fact, I would say that if we never had to attend a funeral again, I feel like we would probably all be okay with that. And yet, it's a fact of life, and we all know that too. So, as someone who feels really deeply, this funeral, it weighed heavy on my heart all day. And although I didn't know this gentleman very well, as he was a newer acquaintance, I went back and forth with where I needed to be most. Obviously, I had destructo dirtbag at home, so I couldn't, he's not supposed to be left unattended. And with all of these other moving pieces of my life, like I really had to evaluate if intentionally putting myself into the environment of a funeral, if that was really the right, quote unquote, right move for me. I'm glad I went. I was supposed to be there for me and for a community that I've grown to love and cherish so much. Um, this young man, he was 23, and he was someone who you could just tell was on a mission to turn not only his home life around, but the lives of his closest family and friends too. He wanted so much more for the people who he cared about. And he really did live a life by his own motto of just be humble, patient, and kind. In addition, I got to experience the beauty of a woman who I just consider a real teammate. She showed up so bravely and out of so much love, she stood up there and she shared a story about our last encounter with this young man and how it ended just with a warm embrace between the three of us, all cheering about having the team together in our own little family group back together again. And then the ever just so subtle, okay, guys, see you next week. All of it, just a series of choices that we make. And you see, one of the things that came up for me while I was sitting during the service is that I didn't necessarily get the vibe that this young man had ever been handed anything in his life, and that he had made choices that maybe he wasn't proud of, but he had also, somewhere in his journey, he had made a choice to be different from now on. And I so believe that that can happen because it's happened to me too. Like that moment where you simply just make a choice that changes the entire trajectory of your life. And I think that those moments actually happen continually throughout our lives, but it always starts with the choice, right? Like the choice to be different, the choice to make a change, the choice to pursue more, the choice to be at peace, the choice to look at life with such an optimism that it permeates into everything else we touch. Funerals have a way of making you appreciate life, those you love the most, don't they? So, attending the funeral, it just created a moment of reflection about some of the most recent big life choice that I've made. And if you've been tuning in for a while now, first off, thank you. And second, you know my story of how I loved my dream corporate job, but I felt a calling on my heart to be more intentional with my gifts and to step off of that proverbial hamster wheel. I took a ginormous leap of faith to surrender to that calling obediently. And without knowing what was on the other side, I actually quit. I left my job April of this year, 2024. And now I've just continued to make the choice to show up every day with full faith that what is meant for me is finding and has found me. And it indeed has, including the opportunity to move my coaching intentionally to the platform of a public webinar. So um, while, this week, like I said, it's just been so full of the ups and downs from the dog surgery to the funeral, and then something that I'm really excited about. And so ready to just have some fun and to pour into people in an entirely different capacity. I'm doing this webinar thing for the first time, and the butterflies have absolutely been with me all week. But I've been making the choice to show up, choosing to prepare, choosing to invite, choosing to put myself out there, choosing to faithfully walk into the unknown, even though the fear and the doubt continue to make their attempts to deter me. Like I still choose this path. So just pray for me is the short of the long here. So don't worry. I am sure I will report back after the webinars over the next couple of weeks just to let what other probably out there choices I decided to make. But life is a wild ride, that's for sure. So if you do want webinar information, it's free. It's going to be fun. And I guarantee you that it'll be the best meeting you sign up for all week. So just check out my website, brittanytalinci.com/coaching to save your seat at one of the upcoming sessions. And I'm just so excited and I'd love to see you there. Bringing this back home, all day long, we're making a million choices. And whether it's the choice to put your beloved pet through surgery, see, I did say I love him. I really do. I'm just frustrated at his choices over the last week. But whether it's making the choice to care for your beloved pet through an immediate surgery, or the choice to attend a funeral, or the choice to do something new, or just to simply like carry a refreshed perspective on life, the choice is ours. So the unjuggle today around choices, if I had to sum it up like I always try to do, is just perhaps that ever so loving reminder that we really never know when we're going to take our last breath, or the way that our choices will impact us down the road. But whether we know the outcome or not, we get to make choices for our lives today that can lead to joyful, intentional, significant, purposeful living. And that's my hope for all of us. It's that quote, right? It's that, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Choose wisely. We got this. So until next time, actually, wait, before I let you go, if any of this landed with you today, I just wanted to make a quick announcement about two other resources that are available to you. The Unjuggle the Struggle coaching program. So that is officially open, and it's where together we go on a 12-week journey to help you quit burnout and step into more joyful living and lasting fulfillment. Because if you're feeling burnt out at work, or burnout as a spouse, or burnout in your business, or burnout as a caretaker, go to brittanytalinci.com/coaching to join the next free training, or to book an exploratory call today. I'd love to hear just about the way you're ready to transform your life. And I'm so ready to lock arms with you to be the coach to help you make it happen. And then also, if you're simply just looking for more hours in the day, be sure to grab the free time freedom checklist resource. This checklist contains 10 tips to help you get the most out of your hours each day, just in the most abundant and balanced way. So all of the links, they'll be in the show notes for quick access. And with that, okay, for real now. Until next time, bye.